So regardless when you will hear this message, this insight, I'm hoping that this would be a valuable tool for you for that moment of your life. I am recording this message during very happening time of year 2021, February, um, just before we go into the Lunar New Year that will happen on the 11th of February. And we'll also open up new lunar month for us with the new moon coming very soon. And also there's a lot going on in terms of planetary alignment above us in the sky, which is somehow slightly, if you believe or do not believe in astrology, astronomy will still tell us that planets influence us on magnetic and electromagnetic level, at least from the from the very simple physics we understand that having some type of celestial bodies above us will create some type of influence here on Earth. And currently, right now, there's a lot of planets that are having a very interesting, powerful alignment. And let's just take the Mercury, the one who steals the stage with his retrograde, and the one that we hear maybe quite often about. And not only this, but also as we are in this Aquarian period of the year, February, January into February, where all the Aquarian people are born, celebrating their birthdays. And we are also on Earth right now experiencing, entering big Aquarian era that will really begin in 100 of in another 100 or 200 years from now. But we are making our first steps. We're sort of dipping our toes into the energetics of the Aquarian era, age of Aquarius, that is ahead of us. And this Jinki 13, I think, is beautifully supporting us, beautifully sharing with us the frequency of empathy that is required for us to create a change that will take us from an previous way how we related to life and how we lived our lives into this new, different reality of unity and collective harmony that we are creating through this change, although it might not feel like we are right now creating it. And we are in the process of dreaming it in our reality first, because we need to create a vision of it first. And so the Jinki 13 is beautifully coming in, teaching us to look at our shadow of discord, our inability to hear to the frequencies, our inability to listen actually to the vibrations, our inability to listen and receive the patterns that happen within us and within the nature. And so the moment we start tapping into our shadow frequency of Jinki 13, discord, we start to then think, what is the listening? How can I improve my listening? How can I improve this sense of receptivity that is giving to me? And simply from my own practices and from my own work with others, I see that our inability to listen is just incredibly great. It causes us so many issues in our lives. And we are presented with this incredible intelligence, with this body, that just within our genetics, there is so much wisdom that if only we spend few moments within our days intentionally listening to the wisdom that is within us, our lives would be so beautiful. Our lives would be so filled with mystery and magic that is constantly there, with aliveness that is unconditionally given to us every day. And if we only take a few moments of our day to have a practice, a ritual, to listen to this divinity that is presented within us, we would then so easily move into the gift frequency of Gene Key 13 and then in the divine gift of Gene Key 13. So the gift, once we start to understand and listen, truly listen with all our senses, listen with our skin, listen with our cells, we're moving into the discernment, into the gift, beautiful gift of Gene Key 13, discernment. We now see clearly. That's also what meditation teaches us. Vipassana specifically means clear seeing. We're discerning the frequencies, everything that is surrounding us, everything that we are producing as a vibrational devices, as the vibrational beings. We now discern and see what we are creating with our frequency, with our vibrations. The world that we are dreaming together and individually. And specifically right there, within this skill of learning to discern, learning to listen, we are shifting from the global sense of pessimism, the global sense of that everything is declining. We are moving into the optimistic seeing of the world, optimistic feeling of the world, optimistic hearing of the world. Because maybe right now, what is around us in our realities, in our world, is not telling us too much optimistic news, too much optimistic frequencies. And so as we discern, we now have an ability to learn and listen. What do we want to hear and what do we want to listen to? Remembering that by hearing and receiving something, we are creating and we're allowing that field of energy to come into us. And then we are also then reproducing that field of energy around us. So remembering that we are incredible container, incredible vessel that receives and sends out frequency all the time. So like a musical instrument, like a tuning fork, to remember your frequency, to remember how you sound is so, so crucial for us, especially at this moment of our development as a human kind, as the beautiful human beings that we are. Especially in the time of this huge experience of Aquarian frequency that we are going through. Because our minds, in the Mercury retrograde, our minds now a little bit more lucid. Our minds a little bit more open right now, which for some of us might be a little bit of an issue because a lot of things are coming our way. We might feel like it's overwhelming to receive all the information or to receive all the things, all the people, all that is coming at us all at once. But this is also a wonderful opportunity to open up our listening and receive all that is coming. It stretches our capacity to perceive and receive. And for that, we also require a lot of grounding. And as we are receiving all of this beautiful energy, as all of us, many of us have been feeling, it's overwhelming. We have been speaking, I think, as a global community for a few years now about the sense of empathy and being empathic to everything's going on, to just have the sensitivity that in a way overwhelms, not inability to deal with this, which is a beautiful divine gift. This is a city of Gene Key 13, to feel everything in its totality, So this divine gift of empathy reminds us that we all are connected to each other, that what I feel, you feel, and that what you feel, I feel. And it's not even just about the feelings. It's actually to the level of what I am, you are, and what you are, I am. So it's knowing, remembering that we are one being. Regardless what our external form is telling us, we are made of pretty similar genetic material. All of us, all beings on this planet. And then as we take it even further, remembering that we are made of the same chemistry elements that the Earth is made of and that planets are made of. So we all are on this very basic level of chemistry are the same. And that's where empathy really starts. It starts so deep within our genetics. It starts so deep within our coding. So through our listening, we simply are opening ourselves up to experiencing everything else and everyone else. And that is why sometimes the path of mindfulness, or let's call it simply mindfulness, or let's call it the path of waking up, understanding more, could be so confusing and in ways painful and in ways challenging at times, because we start to be so attuned to everything that is happening, to all the calamities in the nature, to all the things that are happening around the world where people are suffering and dying and not having enough to support their simple lives. But we have no choice anymore. We are at the point of our development as this human kind in this version that is faced to an update. And the update is needed so much that we're seeing so many things that are affecting all of us. All of us, every single individual on Earth is affected by some type of change right now. And instead of going out there trying to create a change, trying to create a revolution, we sit for a moment, 2 or 3 better yet, and we listen. We'll listen to what's happening within us. That's where the greatest mystery is. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. With gratitude and light.